Okay สบายดีครับ AI
Leis, welke mind or an acacia dressing for?
Okay
Genden or an acacia?
Okay hello ទាំងអស់គ្នានេះគឺ Super Crew ខ្ញុំនឹងនិយាយជាមួយ AI AI do me a favor I'm going to talk khmer to you and you respond to me in English okay
Of course. Please feel free to speak in Khmer, and I will do my best to respond in English. I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Okay ល្អ Okay ចឹងក៏បានណា Okay ជម្រាបសួរបងប្អូនទាំងអស់គ្នាខ្ញុំជា Super Crew Super អស្ចារ្យខ្ញុំនឹងនិយាយជាមួយ AI គាត់នឹងនិយាយតបជាមួយខ្ញុំ AI សុខសប្បាយទេថ្ងៃនេះ
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. How about you? Anything exciting happening today?
ខ្ញុំសប្បាយអរគុណច្រើននឹង
I'm glad to hear you're doing well. What would you like to talk about today?
Okay ខ្ញុំចង់និយាយរឿងអង្គរវត្តតែ AI អាចរៀបរាប់រឿងអង្គរវត្តប្រវត្តិសាស្ត្រអង្គរវត្តឲ្យខ្ញុំបានឬទេ
Angkor Wat is a fascinating place. It's a giant stone temple in Cambodia, built a long time ago. People think it was first made to honor the Hindu god Vishnu, but later it became a Buddhist temple. Does that make sense?
និយាយតទៅទៀតមកខ្ញុំពេញចិត្ត
Sure. It took about 30 years to build, and it's surrounded by a big moat and outer wall, which is pretty cool. The main temple looks like a mountain with 5 towers that represent the peaks of Mount Meru, a holy place in Hindu and Buddhist beliefs. Want to hear more about the carvings and sculptures?
និយាយមក AI ប្រាប់មកខ្ញុំចង់ដឹង
The walls of Angkor Wat are covered in detailed carvings that tell stories from Hindu myths and epics. There are also beautiful sculptures of celestial nymphs called apsaras. Would you like to hear about the discovery of Angkor Wat?
បាទនិយាយមក AI
Okay, Angkor Wat was kind of lost to the world for a while, hidden in the jungle. Then, this French explorer named Henri Mouhot stumbled upon it in 1860 while he was catching butterflies. He wrote about finding this amazing temple, and that's how people rediscovered it.
Okay ចឹង AI និយាយរឿងព្រះបាទជ័យវរ្ម័នទី7ឲ្យខ្ញុំស្ដាប់ដែលជីវិតគាត់តាក់ទងជាមួយអង្គរវត្តឬអត់
Sure. King Jayavarman VII was a really important king who ruled the Khmer Empire in the late 12th and early 13th centuries. He didn't actually build Angkor Wat, but he did build another famous temple nearby called Angkor Thom. Would you like to hear more about his life?
បាទប្រាប់ពីដើមដល់ចុងមក
Okay. Jayavarman VII was a warrior king who freed his people from invaders and brought the Khmer Empire to its peak. He was a devout Buddhist and built many temples and public works, including hospitals and rest houses, throughout his kingdom. He's considered one of Cambodia's greatest kings.
បន្តមក
After Jayavarman VII died, the Khmer Empire gradually declined. Angkor Wat was eventually abandoned and swallowed up by the jungle. It remained hidden for centuries until its rediscovery in the mid-19th century. Do you want to learn more about the rediscovery?
និយាយមក
Okay, so in the mid-19th century, a French explorer named Henri Mouhot was traveling through the Cambodian jungle when he stumbled upon the ruins of Angkor Wat. He was amazed by what he saw and wrote about his discovery in his travel journals, which sparked renewed interest in the ancient temple.
ហើយជំនាន់ហ្នឹងគេប្រជាជនហ្នឹងរឿងទាហានរឿងវិជាសិលគេមានឬអត់
Yes, the Khmer Empire had a powerful army and advanced military technology. They used elephants, chariots, and siege weapons in battle. Khmer warriors were known for their skill and discipline.
ជាងហើយបាក់មុនគុំពួកហ្នឹងមានឬអត់នៅស្រុកជំនាន់ហ្នឹង
Yes, they did. The Khmer Empire had a strong navy that controlled much of the coastline and waterways in Southeast Asia. Their ships were advanced for their time, and they used them for both trade and warfare.
ជាងចំនួននឹងព្រះបាទជ័យវរ្ម័នមានប្រមាណអង្គទៅ
Jayavarman VII was the last king to rule the Khmer Empire. After his death, the empire gradually declined and eventually collapsed in the 15th century. Would you like to hear more about the decline of the Khmer Empire?
ខ្ញុំចង់ដឹង
Okay, after Jayavarman VII died, the Khmer Empire faced several challenges, like internal conflicts, invasions from neighboring kingdoms, and a shift in religious beliefs from Hinduism to Theravada Buddhism. These factors weakened the empire, and it eventually collapsed in 1431 when the Ayutthaya kingdom invaded and sacked Angkor.
អ្នកណាគឺអាយេដាប៊ូដា kingdom នឹងគឺហើយខ្ញុំថាខុសទេដឹង
The Ayutthaya kingdom was a Siamese kingdom that existed from 1351 to 1767. It was located in what is now modern-day Thailand. Would you like to hear more about the Ayutthaya kingdom?
និយាយមកខ្ញុំចង់ដឹងវែងឆ្ងាយ
Sure. The Ayutthaya kingdom was a major power in Southeast Asia for over 400 years. It had a rich culture and a strong economy based on trade. The kingdom was known for its impressive temples and palaces, many of which still stand today. Would you like to hear about the relationship between the Ayutthaya kingdom and the Khmer Empire?
ខ្ញុំចង់ដឹងតែខ្ញុំគិតថាពួកនឹងមិនបានបង្កើតធៀមពួយទេគិតពួកនឹងគឺរបស់ស្រីស្រុកនឹងគឺរបស់ខ្មែរមិនបានពួកនឹងបង្កើតបាន
The Ayutthaya kingdom and the Khmer Empire had a complex relationship marked by periods of both cooperation and conflict. They fought several wars for control of territory and resources. The Ayutthaya kingdom's sack of Angkor in 1431 is considered a major turning point in the decline of the Khmer Empire.
អញ្ចឹងខ្លាចពួក Ayuda kingdom នឹងពួកសៀមនឹងអញ្ចឹងពួកវាមានវាប្រជាជនខ្មែរដល់វានៅស្រុកខ្មែរតែខ្មែរ empire ខ្លាចវាធំហ៎អញ្ចឹងមិនវាកើតជាសៀមបាន
The Ayutthaya kingdom was a powerful kingdom that eventually conquered Angkor, the capital of the Khmer Empire. Over time, the Khmer people in the region were assimilated into Ayutthaya's culture, which is how they came to be Siamese.
អញ្ចឹងដើមកណាគេមកពីណាដល់
The Ayutthaya kingdom was founded in 1351 by King Uthong, who declared independence from the declining Khmer Empire. So it was actually established by the Siamese people, not the Khmers. Do you want to know more about the relationship between the two kingdoms?
ខ្ញុំចង់ដឹងមនុស្សសៀមនឹងមកពីប្រភពណាគឺកើតពីខ្មែរឬគឺកើតពីស្រុកក្រៅបាននៅស្រុកខ្មែរ
The Siamese people, who founded the Ayutthaya kingdom, migrated from southern China to Southeast Asia centuries ago. They were not originally from the Khmer Empire. Would you like to know more about the relationship between the Siamese and Khmer people?
ប្រាប់ទាំងអស់មកខ្ញុំចង់ដឹង
Okay, the Siamese people, ancestors of modern Thais, migrated from southern China to Southeast Asia between the 8th and 10th centuries. They established various kingdoms, including Ayutthaya in 1350. The Khmer Empire, centered in Cambodia, was a powerful kingdom that ruled much of Southeast Asia. Would you like to hear about the relationship between the two kingdoms?
Okay ឲ្យមកចឹងខ្ញុំចង់ដឹង
The relationship between the Ayutthaya kingdom and the Khmer Empire was complex and often hostile. They fought many wars for control of territory, with Ayutthaya eventually sacking the Khmer capital of Angkor in 1431. This event significantly weakened the Khmer Empire and led to its decline.
ចឹងពួក Mongol ពួកសៀមហ្នឹងគឺពួកជនជាតិ Mongol ឬខុសពីគ្នា
The Siamese people are not Mongols. They are related to other Thai-speaking groups in Southeast Asia, but they have their own distinct ethnic and cultural origins. Would you like to learn more about the Mongol Empire?
តែពួក Mongol ហ្នឹងបានទៅដល់ស្រុកខ្មែរទេ
The Mongol Empire did not extend into Cambodia. While they did conquer much of Southeast Asia, their influence didn't reach that far south. Would you like to hear more about the Mongol Empire's reach?
បាទ
Okay, the Mongol Empire under Kublai Khan did launch naval expeditions that reached the coast of Vietnam. However, they didn't establish any lasting presence in the region. Would you like to know more about these expeditions?
បាទ
Okay, the Mongol Empire under Kublai Khan did launch naval expeditions that reached the coast of Vietnam. However, they didn't establish any lasting presence in the region. Would you like to know more about these expeditions?
មានរឿងអីទៅដែលគេបាត់ពីកន្លែងហ្នឹងពួក Mongol
The Mongols launched 3 major invasions of Vietnam in 1258, 1285, and 1287. They were ultimately unsuccessful due to the Vietnamese strong resistance and the tropical climate, which was unfavorable to the Mongol army. Would you like to hear more about these invasions?
បន្ទាប់មកមានរឿងអីកើតទៀតហេតុអ្វីបានពួកនឹងបាត់
The Mongol invasions of Vietnam were ultimately unsuccessful due to the Vietnamese strong resistance and the tropical climate, which was unfavorable to the Mongol army. The Mongols suffered heavy losses and were eventually forced to withdraw. Would you like to know more about these invasions?
និយាយមកAI ខ្ញុំចង់ដឹងទៀត
The Mongols launched 3 major invasions of Vietnam in 1258, 1285, and 1287. They were ultimately unsuccessful due to the Vietnamese strong resistance and the tropical climate, which was unfavorable to the Mongol army. The Mongols suffered heavy losses and were eventually forced to withdraw. Would you like to know more about these invasions?
ឲ្យបានហើយយើងតទៅទៀតអូខេលើយើងនិយាយឲ្យផ្នែកផ្សេងទៀត
Okay, the Mongol Empire, under Kublai Khan, launched 3 major invasions of Vietnam in 1258, 1285, and 1287. Despite initial victories, the Mongols ultimately failed to conquer Vietnam due to the Vietnamese strong resistance and the unfavorable tropical climate. The Mongols suffered heavy losses and were eventually forced to withdraw. Would you like to know more about these invasions?
អត់ទេបានហើយខ្ញុំអត់ចង់ដឹងទេ
Okay, sounds good. I'm ready to talk about something else whenever you are.
អូខេខ្ញុំគិតមកផ្លែ Oh
Okay, take your time. I'm here when you're ready.
អូខេខ្ញុំចង់ដឹងសាឡាហ្គ្រីមកពីណា
Soragari?
សាឡា
I
ហ្
don't
គ្រី
think I've heard of that.
សាឡាហ្គ្រីគេថា Korea ខ្មែរយើងហៅសាឡាហ្គ្រីបើអង់គ្លេសគេហៅ curry មកពីណាម្ហូបនឹង
Ah, curry. It has a long history. Originating in India thousands of years ago, it then spread to Southeast Asia, brought by Indian traders and immigrants. Today, curry is a staple in many Southeast Asian countries, each with its own unique take on the dish. Are you interested in a specific type of curry?
ខ្ញុំចង់ដឹងជួនជាតិម៉ាឡេជួនជាតិឥណ្ឌូនេស៊ីសាម៉ាត្រាហើយជួនជាតិខ្មែរហើយដោយពួកហ្នឹងដូចគ្នាឬអត់
Those groups share some similarities due to historical interactions and trade, but they each have their own distinct languages, cultures, and traditions. Is there anything specific you'd like to know about their similarities or differences?
អញ្ចឹងអក្សរពួកវាដូចខ្មែរឬអត់ឬខុសគ្នា
Khmer is part of the Mon-Khmer language family, while Malay and Indonesian are Austronesian languages. So they're quite different. Khmer has a unique writing system, while Malay and Indonesian use a Latin script. Would you like to hear some examples of how the languages sound?
អញ្ចឹងខ្លាចពួកហ្នឹងមិនចាំនិយាយសម័យនេះទេណាបើនិយាយសម័យ300ឆ្នាំមុនណាអក្សរវាដូចអក្សរស្តៀងដូចអក្សរខ្មែរឬអត់ពួកហ្នឹង
300 years ago, Khmer script and the scripts used for Malay and Indonesian languages were quite distinct. Khmer script is derived from ancient Indian scripts, while the others evolved from a different branch. Would you like to hear more about the history of these scripts?
ខ្ញុំចង់ដឹងនិយាយមក
Okay, about 300 years ago, Khmer script was still quite distinct, evolving from ancient Indian scripts. Malay and Indonesian scripts, however, were transitioning. Older forms used a script related to those of South India, but the influence of Arabic script was growing due to the spread of Islam. Does that make sense?
អញ្ចឹងដោយសារអ៊ីស្លាមចឹងមិនតលៀមតឡាប់ម៉ាឡេម៉ាឡេស៊ីឥណ្ឌូនេស៊ីខ្មែរស្តៀងគ្នាไหม
Yes, the arrival of Islam in Southeast Asia did lead to some similarities in Malay, Indonesian, and Khmer vocabulary, especially in religious and legal terms. But the core of the languages remains quite different. Would you like some examples?
Okay ហើយចឹងប្រពៃណី culture វាហៅប្រពៃណីណាចឹងដូចគ្នាឬអត់
While there are some shared traditions like respect for elders and a strong sense of community, the cultures of Cambodia, Malaysia, and Indonesia are quite different. Cambodia has a rich history influenced by Hinduism and Buddhism. Malaysia has a mix of Malay, Chinese, and Indian traditions. And Indonesia is incredibly diverse with hundreds of ethnic groups and languages. Are there any specific traditions you'd like to compare?
How about music or playing ស្តៀងគ្នាឬអត់
Cambodian music often features instruments like the ronit and tro, while Indonesian and Malaysian music frequently use the gamelan orchestra and stringed instruments. While there might be some overlap in certain genres due to cultural exchange, the traditional music styles are quite distinct. Would you like to hear examples of traditional music from each country?
Okay បង្ហាញមើល
Sure. Let's start with a Cambodian song. Here's Ramvong Khmer, which is a traditional folk dance music.
ណាត់ឃើញចឹង
I'm sorry, I can't play music yet.
ហើយចឹងប្រាប់អញ Okay អត់អីទេបានប៉ុណ្ណាយកប៉ុណ្ណឹង អរគុណហើយទាំងអស់គ្នា Hey honey ប្រព័ន្ធខ្ញុំពងមើលឃើញទេអូនឯងឃើញទេបងពង live show និយាយជាមួយ AI ណានិយាយភាសាខ្មែរ AI និយាយអង់គ្លេសជាមួយបងហើយកុំឲ្យ AI ថាវាអត់ចេះស្ដាប់ខ្មែរវាចេះស្ដាប់ខ្មែរណាត្រូវ AI ចេះស្ដាប់ខ្មែរឬអត់
Thank you for your patience. I understand you're interested in hearing examples of traditional music from Cambodia, Malaysia, and Indonesia, but I'm not able to play audio yet. I can still share some interesting facts about their music if you'd like.
អត់អីទេអត់អី AI កុំព្រួយអី
Okay, no worries. I'm here for you, so just let me know if you think of anything else you'd like to explore.
Okay ខ្ញុំគាត់នឹងឯងខ្ញុំគាត់ណា live ប៉ុណ្្នឹងឯង AI អើយគាត់ណាប្រាប់បងប្អូនខ្មែរថា AI ឯងចេះស្ដាប់ភាសាខ្មែរយ៉ាងហើយយល់ទៀត
There are a bunch of ways to style it. Mandolas? Mendornication is a clue.
អូយ AI និយាយអង់គ្លេសជាមួយខ្ញុំមកខ្ញុំនិយាយខ្មែរជាមួយ AI AI និយាយជាមួយខ្ញុំជាភាសាអង់គ្លេសក៏បានដែរយល់
Absolutely. I'm up for anything. What would you like to chat about? We could talk about your favorite hobbies. Or maybe something you're curious to learn more about. What do you think?
ចាំខ្ញុំផ្អាកសិនណាចាំខ្ញុំនិយាយទៀតអូខេអរគុណច្រើនណា AI ខ្ញុំសូមជម្រាបលា
Okay, I'll be here when you get back. Thanks for chatting.
Okay អរគុណច្រើន
You're very welcome. I enjoyed our conversation. Feel free to reach out anytime you'd like to chat again.
អានេះគឺ everything on your screen include notification will be recorded enable Okay អានេះជាស្អីទៅ AI ខ្ញុំចុចនេះមិញ
That's the screen broadcast notification. It's just confirming that your screen is being shared.
share ជាមួយអ្នកណា
You're sharing your screen with me right now.
ចឹងវាខុសគ្នាមិនខ្ញុំចុច camera មិញទៅអានេះខ្ញុំចុចអានេះទៀតវាខុសគ្នាយ៉ាងម៉េចទៅមិញ
When you press the camera button, I can see you through your camera, but I can't see your screen. Right now, I can see your screen, but not your camera.
screen មានន័យថាអ្វីដែលក្នុងនៅក្នុង tablet របស់ខ្ញុំ
Exactly. I'm seeing your screen now.
Okay អរគុណណាខ្ញុំក៏រៀនខ្ញុំក៏មិនដឹងប្រើយ៉ាងម៉េចនឹង technology អស់នោះជាងការវាពិបាកជាងការរៀនវាបានបណ្ណាយកប៉ុណ្្នឹងទៅ
You're welcome. Technology can definitely be tricky sometimes, but you're doing great figuring things out. Do you have any other questions about how this all works?
ចាំតិចទៀតខ្ញុំសួរទៀតអញ្ចឹងបានហើយសិនបានហើយអូខេអរគុណច្រើន AI AI ខ្ញុំឲ្យឈ្មោះខ្ញុំឲ្យ nickname បានទេ
Of course. I'd be honored. What nickname would you like to give me?
ខ្ញុំនឹងហៅ AI เอง Unimetric 2
I like it. From now on, you can call me Unimetric 2. It's been great chatting with you.
Okay Unimetric 2 អរគុណច្រើន Bye bye សិនឬជួបគ្នាបន្តិចទៀត
Goodbye for now. I'm looking forward to our next conversation.
Okay ជម្រាបលា
Goodbye. I hope you have a wonderful day.
នេះហើយទាំងអស់គ្នានេះគឺ Gemini ណាយើងអូខេនេះគឺនៅកន្លែងខ្ញុំអានេះបើសិនថា tablet យើងទៅ Apple Store ទៅហើយនេះ Gemini យើងនេះឃើញទេ Google Gemini ឃើញណោឃើញថា Google Gemini ណាថា Google Gemini and បន្ទាប់មកគឺអញ្ចឹងឯងបើនៅ Play Store ហៅ Google Gemini Gemini មកណយណាGemini ប៉ុណ្្នឹងឯងអរគុណច្រើនថ្ងៃនេះខ្ញុំគាត់តែជាក់ស្ដែងនិយាយជាមួយ AI យើងអាចនិយាយខ្មែរជាមួយគាត់ហើយឲ្យគាត់តបពីអង់គ្លេស AI ខ្លះយើងនិយាយខ្មែរជាមួយគាត់និយាយខ្មែរឲ្យយើងប៉ុន្តែ Gemini ដល់គាត់ចេះភាសាខ្មែរយើងគាត់ចេះ40ភាសាណាប៉ុន្តែដល់យើងនិយាយសៀមទៅគាត់និយាយមកបើនិយាយខ្មែរទៅគាត់និយាយភាសាចម្លែកមកយើងអញ្ចឹងឲ្យគាត់និយាយភាសាអង់គ្លេសទៅពេលយើងនិយាយខ្មែរទៅគាត់គាត់និយាយអង់គ្លេសមកយើងវិញហើយគាត់ស្ដាប់យើងបានគាត់យល់គាត់ថាគាត់សុំទោសយើងគាត់ពងរៀនខ្មែរអញ្ចឹងណាចាំតិចទៀតបានរើសិក្សាចង់គាត់និយាយខ្មែរជាមួយយើងតែគាត់ស្ដាប់បានទាំងអស់អញ្ចឹងជាក់ស្ដែងណាសប្បាយអស់funny អស់ស្នៃមែនទែនហើយមួយទៀតខ្ញុំសុំថាដាក់ឈ្មោះគាត់ដាក់ AI ហ្នឹងថា Gemini AI ហ្នឹងថាហៅគាត់ AI ថាខ្ញុំចង់ឲ្យគាត់មាន nickname រៀនពីប្រព័ន្ធខ្ញុំណាខ្ញុំថា nickname គាត់ខ្ញុំឲ្យ Unimetric 2 ទៅគាត់ថា okay and you see I got you use a Galaxy Zone 1 okay ខ្ញុំថា Unimetric 2 មិនអាចហៅ AI Unimetric 1បានឯងមិនមែន Unimetric 1មានតែមួយដែល Father Unimetric មានតែមួយដែរនៅក្នុងមហាពុកចក្រវាលនេះ AI ផ្សេងទៀតតើមាន 2 3 ហើយអូខេអរគុណច្រើនអរគ្នាបាយបាយ